Yes, I've clicked go live. I'm also seeing it's not, so it's still starting. I think it is now live. Let me see. It's on, eh? Everything is fine. Yeah, fine. You can resume. Hi, Fanny. Hello, Fanny. Can you hear me? Can you hear yourself on the live stream? I don't know. I'm trying to. Let me try to what? To. Let me try to see here. Hello. It's working. It should be. Oh. Okay. So try speaking.
So those online, please confirm if you're able to hear us right now. Jonathan, stop whatever you're doing.
Let me try to what? To. I can hear myself right now.
Because you have two devices open, Jonathan.
Hello. It's working. It
should be. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear
Yes,
you.
I can hear you.
Can you? I think now it may work. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Awesome. And you will let me know when to start. Funny, so I can't see you. So when you're ready, just let me know.
All right. Let me just confirm with a few people online if they are having issues hearing us. Please, those on YouTube, please confirm if you're able to hear us clearly. All right, they can hear us clearly. Then the next thing is now, can you see the screen? Perfect. So they're able to hear us and the presentation is on. I want to confirm if everyone is able to see the presentation on the screen. Are you able to see the presentation on the screen, please? I mean on the YouTube screen, not on the meeting screen. The screen, Jonathan, they cannot see the screen. Please, can you fix that? Please, Jonathan, fix that so we can start. Jonathan, you need to share your screen, please.
Fanny,
Yes.
I'd like to know if Mr. Musoke is presenting.
He's already presenting.
I am presenting. I'm presenting.
That's a bit weird because I can't see anything on my side as well.
Okay.
You need to share your meeting screen, Jonathan, so you're able to see.
It's the one I'm broadcasting right now.
I can get out and come back in for you, Jonathan. I can say stop presenting.
All right.
I'll stop. Do you see me?
Yes,
I don't know what you're seeing on YouTube.
Okay, Jonathan, first share.
I see.
And then
what I see on your screen. I'm broadcasting my screen right now, Fanny. So if he presents, I can be able to see.
Which screen? Okay, all right. Mr. Musoke, try to share the screen again.
Do you see my screen?
We are seeing your camera.
Okay. Let me take off my camera.
All right.
Do you see my screen? I don't know how this works. So.
Just share your
You
screen. There is
should
an
share
icon down.
your screen, and then
There is an icon
start with the
down the.
broadcasting.
Okay, I'm going to start again.
All right.
Okay.
So I am going to share entire screen.
Yes.
Allow. Do you see my entire screen?
Yes. Now it's presenting.
Okay. Do you see
But
my screen now?
no, it's showing presenting, but it isn't showing the presentation. I don't know why.
Because I think it has gone into an interactive window. Let me try again. Present something else. Select the window screen. How about now?
Let me see. Not
I
yet.
think you should wait for a moment. It was showing and then it disappeared. So I think it should take some time. So let's try again.
So I stop. Okay. We try again.
Yes.
Yes.
Entire screen or just the window?
You can share
The presentation.
the window or the entire screen. It should be displayed on the meeting screen because that's what we are broadcasting.
What do you see now?
Showing that you're presenting, then all of a sudden it's going off.
Okay. Error. Okay. Let me say entire screen. What do you see now?
The same issue.
How about now?
Still, we can't
Ah,
see
okay.
the
I think
screen.
I. Okay, let's do this. I
I,
see.
I have a suggestion.
Wait, I think you guys are going so fast. The screen has to take some time. It comes on like it's loading, and then when you say you're not, and it goes off.
All right.
Ah,
So
okay. Okay.
try again, but then let's be patient and just let it to load.
Yeah, now it's showing.
What are you seeing?
You can see the screen
The
showing.
meeting window. The meeting window.
Yes.
How about my PowerPoint presentation? The first page.
Not yet. But you can see your screen.
Does have a PowerPoint window.
Not yet. We
Because of
can't
the
see.
current screen.
The current screen that's being shown is the Firefox browser with the meeting screen.
That is perfect. Let me try again.
All right.
Okay, we try again. So, and now, like Fanny said, we just have to be patient and wait and see. What do you see?
It's showing. It's showing.
The presentation window.
Exactly.
Okay. Fanny, over to you.
Yes, I can see your screen, but I think YouTube still can't see your screen. That's why I still insist that this issue, I think it's now coming back on. Yeah, I think it's now fine.
It's fine.
So let me just confirm with YouTube people
Okay.
if it's on. Yes, I can see your screen, but I think YouTube still can't see your screen. That's why I still insist that this issue, I think it's now coming back on. Yeah, I think it's All right, I think let's start now. The screen is visible and people can now hear us, so everything is fine. So anyway, thank you. So sorry for the inconvenience. This session was supposed to start at exactly 7, and because of this technical issue, we apologize for wasting your time, but thanks for your patience. Anyway, so this is Fanny speaking. I'm moderating this session. So this is hosted by PyCon Uganda, and PyCon Uganda is basically an annual conference that will be happening this year. This will be our second PyCon happening in Uganda so far. So it will be happening from 9th to 12th of October this year. So be sure that you check out the PyCon website for any details. Also, we shall be taking questions after this session. So without wasting so much time, thanks to everyone who has joined. And this session is basically going to help you understand how you can perfectly present at a conference. It might not be specifically Python, but also other conferences that you might be interested in looking at. So I'll give you a brief introduction of the speaker. Mr. Steven is one of our favorite uncles here in Kampala, and he has more than, I think, 20 years of experience. And so he's been in the game for a while, both technically and also both in the public speaking space. So take down your pen and paper, take notes, and then be sure that you ask questions. If you do, we have some questions that have already been submitted, and I hope that during this presentation, he is going to enlighten us. Thank you so much for joining. You're most welcome, Mr. Steven. The floor is yours.
Thank you, Fanny. Thank you, Jonathan, for setting up this session. I was very excited when I was asked to help speakers prep. Last year, I did one of the keynotes for PyCon, but then I promised the team that this year I wouldn't do a keynote. But the way I would give back is work myself out of the job, like I promised in the last PyCon, and so that I would have somebody else actually present and help others, prepare for the session. So really, these are ideas for that killer session, and really, what I'm just going to give us some tips, ideas to even avoid what we've had today, so that it doesn't happen to you during your presentation. So these are some of the lessons, ideas, and so on. So you've been accepted to present at PyCon 2024. That is the first step. Like they say, a journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. Now, how do you make it the best session ever for both yourself and your audience? Because you could have a great session, but then your audience, doesn't have as great a session. So how do you make it the best session for both you and your audience? Because really, that is the aim of the game for taking the time and energy to present a session. So what makes a killer presentation? I hope you also don't have so many empty chairs in your presentation. So we're going to talk about 5 basic principles and 5 basic areas and tenets of having that killer presentation. Your audience, the story, planning your delivery, practice, and the presentation itself. Your audience. So think about your audience and what they'll take away from the talk. So obviously you have technology people, but depending on the title of your talk or what you're trying to present, you may find that you're targeting a specific portion of the community or just everybody in the community. So the key is what will make your talk different from other talks? What will make you stand out? What will make you memorable? So every talk usually, I assume many times you may not be the first person to have that idea or to give that other talk. So you also want to do some research and listen to others who presented of the same topic so that you can stand out and make your talk distinct so that others can actually use your talk on the same topic as a reference material. You want to use examples, experiences from your personal point of view. So do not try to make your talk the same as the founder of Python or other people you've had. You want to make your talk use examples for both you and your audience, right? You're Ugandan, if you've worked here, so you want to bring aspects of your experience and your expertise and your journey into the talk so that your audience can relate to it. And so the idea is think about the people who come for your talk, plan it out, and that will also, where possible, bring in your audience to participate. Unfortunately, I can't see YouTube, but I would encourage you to ask questions. Even during my keynote, I was asking for people to interrupt me so that I can bring them into my keynote. So you can also invite parts of the audience. Obviously, this may not be possible for every talk. So in this case, you may even focus on just the Q&A at the end. So think about your audience, who will come, what do you want them to benefit, what level of experience and expertise do they need to have, what message do you want them to take away, what value do you want them to gain. Those things are what you want to continuously ask yourself through every slide of your presentation as you prepare. The story. So the audience is usually interested in the story. What is the problem? We all love movies because there's a problem, there's the hero, there's the journey towards success, the things they did, and so on. So you want to bring everybody loves a good story. So you want to create a story around your presentation. That's not just bland and you dropping facts and things like that. You want to soften it so that there is a story so that people can follow along your presentation. And also at the end, you keep bringing out morals of the story. What do you want people to take away? What do you want them to learn from your presentation? You can use photos, you can use videos. Some people have used videos. You can illustrate to make the story more lively. You can zoom in and change perspective, sometimes first party, sometimes third party, and so on. So you want to bring other aspects into the story which are probably not common. So that's why it's part of storytelling. It's not just dropping facts, but sort of sugarcoating the facts so that people can understand. Plan your storyline. Say, here's the problem, here's our hero, here's the first step, here are some failures, here are some challenges, and here are some wins. So basically, you want the stories that remain with us are those where there are some challenges, the hero grows, they get better, and finally they win. So you also want, whether it's a technical talk, a coding challenge, even a live coding challenge, you want to put some pitfalls, some ideas, some experimentation, and some surprises here and there. So, and you want to simplify your slides. You don't want very complicated slides. You don't want even if the topic is very complicated, there should be some real life examples that people can relate. Even if it's complex Einstein math, you want them to things that people can relate to. So you know your audience, which is here the people in the talk, and I will know what the benefits. Then I tell a story using videos, using audio, photos. Some can even be live, and then the delivery. So many times you want to memorize, you want to know, like TED Talks, they try not to use slides. So you must really know the flow of your story. You must bring your audience along on the journey. You must enthrall them. You must captivate them. You must leave questions in their mind so that they sort of know where you'll end up. You want to make eye contact as you deliver the talk. You want to look across the room, walk across the stage. You want to prepare your presentation code and demo. I mean, the 15 minutes we spent today, we did not prep long enough. We took 5 minutes before, but we did not prepare enough. And that is, I'm taking the challenge and experience that we've gone through today to sort of figure out, like, you don't want that to happen on stage. So you want to practice. You want to ensure that you have everything. You want to have a backup charge. You want to make sure your laptop is fully charged. You want to have a backup HDMI connector. You want to have two of them. I usually move with two or three because at times they don't work, and they fail on the last minute. Have relevant examples. Examples are key to making, like, take for example, examples are key to bringing the message to your audience. I tend to use farming, my life, my family, my experience. I tend to bring them into the examples. Even if it's a code example, I can relate it with something I do every day, something my audience does every day, so that they can relate. Do not read to your audience. Do not read line by line. And even if you have a challenge or if power goes, incorporate it, even if something happens during the talk, incorporate it into your presentation. Try not to use a lot of technical jargon. I know some talks are very complicated, but maybe you can substitute. That is the story, right? It can be a very complicated story, but try to avoid the technical jargon because you're solving a problem along a storyline. The code, if you're doing a live demo, and this tends to happen, right? You can run some code and you run into an error, your server crashes, your internet jumps off, and things like that. It doesn't have to be all smooth, but you want to add some things that the audience can contribute to. Some edge cases, you don't want like a story where everything is smooth and the hero wins immediately. We've watched some of those movies where the hero overpowers everybody and there's nobody, nobody, they wear a white suit and at the end of the whole movie, the white suit doesn't even have dust on it. Those are not the heroes. The heroes are where their clothes get torn, they get beaten up, they face challenges. Ask your audience for advice, ask them for ideas, for names of variables, for something to put in, for some example numbers, and so on. Practice so that you're aware of time. And because time, if you have 20 minutes, keep practicing so that you can do it in 10 or 15 because you never know what will happen. Memorize your talk, know your words, practice in front of the mirror. I practice this in front of the mirror, so even if it didn't work, I would know what to say. Practice in front of a trusted set of people. If you're doing a live coding challenge, practice your typing speed. Practice your if like now, if you notice my screen, it was all empty. I did not have my WhatsApp popping up, I don't have notifications coming in and so on. All because I have practiced, I have shared, I know which browser will work and things like that. Place guides along the way so that you know. So this presentation is a guide for me. So you do not have to write everything because you've memorized and practiced. These are guardrails. And add proverbs, jokes, light humor, stories. I mean, examples that come to light. Some may even have happened yesterday, and you sort of don't want, you can bring in things that happened recently to actually show that your talk is recent. So that sort of brings people closer to you and also enables you to tell a better story. Give a short overview. Like if you noticed at the beginning of my talk, I told you these are the 5 things we're going to go through, right? So everybody knows there'll be 5 things, and sort of I have 5 slides. You know, I know your presentation. I always smile and have fun. Unfortunately, my camera didn't work. You'd see me smiling, and where I am, I'm in good light. People are looking at me and wondering, what's that man talking about? He's busy waving his hands all over the place because your audience will pick up from the energy. If you're dull and just reading sentence by sentence, line by line, and things like that, you will find that they will fall asleep. However, if there are jokes, you're engaging, you're moving around, people will keep following you with their eyes, they'll keep following you with their mind. They may laugh at your jokes or even just scream at you or throw bottles at you, but hey, we hope nobody throws bottles at you. Build in time for Q&A because remember, Q&A are the questions that I hope you have some for me. And in closing, think of your audience, plan for it. Like in this case, I assume you're all speakers. Craft your story, design your code and slides, practice your delivery. Make sure you know your slides, you know your words, and you keep changing them and evolving them when they don't feel right. Engage your audience and handle challenges, which is Murphy's Law. And Murphy's Law says if anything can go wrong, it will and usually does, just like it happened here. So thank you very much. For any questions, feel free to reach out. I am SS Musoke on all social media networks. If it doesn't have SS Musoke, I don't use it. And that's my blog, ssmusoke.com. So you can Google me, usually you'll find me. Thank you very much, and over to you, Fanny. I
All
think we have enough
right.
time for Q&A,
Yes.
longer than the presentation itself.
Yes, thank you so much for that brief yet very interesting and informative presentation. And it's been amazing. So we have some questions that already we collected. If you have any questions, please start typing them right now, right now. So the first question to you is, how do you deal with stage fright. Like people get frightened when they just stand there on the stage. You know, they are not used to seeing so many people, or sometimes it just comes naturally. So what is your strategy to deal with that?
I embrace. So, by the way, if you see me before I talk, I talk a lot. So when I'm nervous, I talk a lot. So I'm one of those lucky people. But because you've practiced your talk, don't fight the stage fright. Embrace it because it is your companion. In fact, if you're not frightened for every talk because you've taken the time to prepare it, it's the first time you're doing it. Like every presentation is the first time for me because I take the time to change all my presentations such that each one is different. So stage fright is normal, but if you have practiced and you're ready to give that talk, then just embrace the stage fright. Dress up, practice, be early. I mean, you're ready. There's nothing you don't feel so frightened when you've practiced. You're ready. You're ready to take for any challenges. You have a backup. But if you come late for your presentation, you haven't practiced, then you will lose that. You will be more scared, but you embrace it. And by the way, because you've practiced, you can actually tell yourself, you know what, I can do this because you've already gone through it multiple times. It's not the first time you're making that presentation.
All right, thank you. I hope that answers Shiva's question. So another question is just for you to share tips. I think you mentioned this in your presentation, tips and tricks to make your talk more engaging. Uh, I don't know if you guys didn't pick it up, but he mentioned storytelling, making your talk more engaging by engaging the audience itself. What else can you add on? I think I picked something from that.
Use props, visuals, have photos. Like, don't make it boring. It's not plain text, right? It's not a plain text presentation.
Yes,
It is,
yes,
it has different things in there. So, but the key thing is to make it engaging. You have to practice, and the first time you may not like. If it's the first time you're doing it, you get better with time. So that's why you have to submit more talks to different conferences and so on. But do your best. I mean, the audience will appreciate it when they see that you've actually taken the time, you've done the research, you've done the prep work. It shows. It always shows.
yes. Yeah, that's amazing. So Dorothy is asking, how do you deal with hard questions from the audience?
You may not be able to answer all questions, right? And that is the key to your talk. You usually have 15 minutes, maybe to 1 hour. You can say, that one may take too long. I will take it offline and I will answer it with a follow up, either blog post or things like that, because you will not be able to answer all questions. And some you may not know, but you can answer as much as you can and say, but that's a very good idea. I will take it and I will answer it in a blog post and so on. So some of my best blog posts have been inspired by hard questions. So don't think your talk is the start all, end all, and be all for everything. No, really, it is just one thing that you have, and you can follow. You can follow it with a blog post. Like it's just one of many things you do. So if it's hard, go back, think about it. That may be an idea for another presentation at another conference, or a blog post, or more additional sharing, or even learning from you, you the presenter. How do I?
Yeah, okay. Thank you so much for answering that question. I hope, Dorothy, you've gotten the answer. Please take note. If you have another question, type it again. There is another question from Abdi. Yes, he is asking, okay, his first question was how you can present a talk. I think you mentioned that in your presentation. And then how he can improve his presentation skills. That is his second question. And then the third one, he's so much interested in knowing about you as a person, you, Mr. Steven.
Well, you can follow me. I'm, I love building churches. I think that that is, I love building techies. I like helping techies get better. That for me is a continuous drive. I want you guys to replace me so that I can do other things. Uh, yeah, I think that's a brief about me. And I enjoy giving talks. I enjoy sharing what I know and things like that. I missed the other first two questions.
The other one was just how he can make a very nice presentation and then also improve his presentation skills.
Just practice and just do many more presentations.
Yeah. All right. So another question is interesting, but some of them have answers along. Some have been answered already. So I'll skip some. How best can you address a large conference? Like, I don't know how large it should be, but I'm assuming maybe 1,000 plus people have, those are a lot of people. So how best can you present to such a huge audience?
The same way you present to one person, the same way you present to five, same energy. Because remember, all you have is your stage, and like now, I don't know how many people are on YouTube. They could be a million, they could be 5 million, they could be 10. But the idea is it's the same presentation. Whether five people, that's why part of what I said in the talk is memorize your talk, practice in front of a mirror, that is you presenting to yourself, practice in front of a set of trusted people, those are, two, three, and so on, because that's your audience. So whether you're presenting to five people or a very large conference of a million people, it's still the same. And also, it is the same. The presentation skills do not change. As you go to bigger stages, the content may change, but you as a person, your own style comes out in the talk. So not everybody can be as lively and bubbly jumping around like me, but just embrace your style and figure out how to keep the audience interested in what you have to say.
Well, thank you so much. That is actually, oh, I've learned a lot today. Okay. So guys on YouTube, be sure you ask questions as we are answering these. So someone wants to know, this is Joseph. Joseph wants to know, what does it really take to have that engaging presentation you talked about? Already you've already mentioned practice and all that. I don't know if there's anything else you have to add on that question.
It's always the story. I think, you know, you have to learn how to be a storyteller, whether it's just jokes. Like, the idea is engaging presentations are not only at conferences. I think I encourage people to give tutorials at their workplaces, give tutorials to their peers, and all that. I mean, continuously you keep, how do you call it, you keep talking, and that figure out how to keep the audience interested in what you have.
Wow, thank you so much. I think I've lost you.
Is that engaging presentation? Over
All
time, you learn. Used to practice for. He used to start his presentation for Apple Developer Conference. He used to start 6 months before, and he would practice for 6 months. So when you see him on stage, the man has been practicing for 6 months, tweaking his content, the ideas, and sort of just continuously improving.
Well, thank you. So people are really appreciating those who attended PyCon last year. They're like, your talk was really like, it was lit, it was so good, it was really, really amazing. So someone is asking, Monica is asking, how do you decide to choose that perfect topic to give a talk on?
There is no perfect topic. There is none. The perfect topic is the one you know, is the one you're excited about, right? Because that excitement you have, like if you notice my PyCon talk, my PyCon keynote last year was not very technical. It was about life and so on, because I felt it was relevant at the time. because most, there were more technical talks, machine learning, data cleaning, data science, and so on. But then I figured that from my experience and so on, my talk would need to touch on a bit of technical, how to become a master, how to live a great life, and how to leverage PyCon. That's what resonated with me. The key thing is you don't have to talk about the same thing each and every conference, right? You don't even have to talk about the trending topics. You may find that the topic that excites you is not machine learning, is not what. It may be some obscure thing about Python or about the language or even the problems you're solving. So that is the perfect topic because you're excited about it. You want to talk about it. You want to teach people about it, and people can learn something about it. So that the perfect topic is the one you are excited about, and hopefully your audience can relate, connect to, and also be excited about and learn something from. So there is no perfect topic. It is that one which the perfect topic is for you in that conference, in that frame of mind. And I encourage people to practice doing like different topics for different, like don't focus on only presenting at PyCon. Google developer groups, they're usually meetups. Like go out of your comfort zone, go out of your community, because that allows you to bring in different ideas, to blend different ideas and so on. So that talk that I gave at PyCon was similar to another talk. It has been evolving over time, but I decided that that's the last time I'm going to give that particular talk. So I had to, send it off with a boom. But now, if I'm to talk at any other conference, I have to find new topics and something new to engage. So I've sort of retired that particular talk because it has evolved over 3 to 5 years. But now it's done. So I have to look for something new, and I'm still looking for it.
Wow. Practice. Well, yes. All right. So there is an interesting question here, and I think I have also personally experienced it. So somebody called Kiriza has brought it out. Like there are sometimes when you're presenting to young people, you feel you're so confident, but then when you realize that the audience is a bit the older generation, like suddenly you freeze. Like, so his question is, why does he find himself like presenting perfectly to the younger generation, and then when it reaches to the old people, like you feel like you're not yourself, you're no longer confident? How can you deal with that? And why does it happen, by the way?
Because you feel you're out of your comfort zone, right? With the young people, you believe you have all the knowledge and experience, you can answer every question, right? That's why I encourage you to present outside your comfort zone. Like it's a practice thing. Like you're only scared because that's the first time. But if you're talking at meetups, different areas, you're taking your Python to the JavaScript community, to other communities and things like that, you will actually find that you have practice talking in communities where you are not the, how do you call it, you're not the smartest person in the room, you're not the most knowledgeable person in the room. So I encourage people to give talks outside their comfort zone, to talk about topics, because the best way to learn something is to teach it. So go teach, go teach people about Python, go teach other things, so that you can practice being out of your comfort zone.
Yes, Quickers, I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, but it's all about practice and preparation. Prepare, practice, and so
on. Okay, thank you. Okay. Okay, all
and
right.
some talks may not come out well. By the way, don't think you will have perfect talks. I've done talks where I felt I should have done better. You will have some good talks. You'll have some terrible talks. But the idea is to have we call it a batting average, where consistently, because you're preparing, you're practicing, you get better at this and can actually keep delivering high quality talks. The reception will be different at different conferences, in different communities, at different times of the year. The key is you just keep practicing and you get better over time. Overall, your quality keeps improving.
Right, thank you. So I think most of the questions have been answered, and I'm just looking through if I didn't repeat, if there's anything that was not answered. So there is one here. This is someone who is struggling to find maybe a perfect interest. So their question is, how can I find, how, how can I understand my interest based on the knowledge that I have and then share it out to people? Maybe talk about it like in a conference. So, for example, I think what he means is like, for example, sometimes maybe you can code Python and you are wondering, you can code Python, the usual Python, and then you can also do Python maybe for data science, for example, and then they are like having that conflicting loyalty of, do I speak about data
I
science?
mean,
Do I speak about AI? Or so how do you deal with such conflicts of interest?
speak about the.
So the question is basically, how do you deal with conflict of interest when you're trying to submit a talk? This is basically for, sorry, he has left the call. Let's give him a moment to rejoin. Right, welcome back. Can you hear me? Yes, Mr. Steven, can you hear me now? Anyway, as we wait for him to get back, thank you so much for everyone who has managed to join this session. And I hope all your questions rather have been answered. And most of the questions have been answered. I think that was the last question that I asked, unless anyone else has another question. So you're welcome back, Mr. Steven.
You hear me?
Yes. So the last question was around conflict of interest. You realize that some people are so knowledgeable and sometimes they find it so hard to choose which topic to really present. I was giving an example, maybe they could be knowing.
Tony, I hear you like a robot.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah, I think maybe it's on your end. Yes, it's internet, definitely. So that was the last question though. And then we wind up the session. Welcome back.
Hello, Jonathan. Hello, Fanny. Do you hear me? I heard you like robot.
We can hear you.
Or is it my connection?
I think it was your
Yes, it's your
connection.
connection. Okay, the last question was about how to deal with conflict of interest in terms of submitting a talk. This is specifically for people who are so knowledgeable, maybe about different topics.
Hello, Fanny. Yes. Do you hear me?
Funny, I can't hear
Yes.
you also. Yeah, I can hear you now.
Let me type the question.
We can hear you.
Do you hear me now? I have taken off all technology and gone to the default speaker for my laptop.
Yes, I can hear you. And can you hear him?
Yes.
So I think choose a talk. I would suggest choose a topic that you're excited about. I mean, if you're excited about a topic, you will find that it is easier for you to research. It's easier for you to talk about because genuinely, like it's part of you. So I would say always choose the topic you're excited about today, and that can change tomorrow. That can change next week, and so on. So just pick a topic that you're truly excited about. So if you're conflicted, pick anyone. You can never go wrong. You can talk about the next topic in the next conference.
Okay. Can you hear us?
All right. Thank you so much. Yes, Jonathan, I can hear you.
All right.
That was a very informative and amazing session. And
Musoke, can you hear me?
well, thank you so much, guys, for joining us. And we shall be having any other session if needed. And in case we do have another session, we shall share with you and get back to that. So,
And I'll also share these presentation slides. I'll share them, I think, probably on LinkedIn or something, so that you can have access to them. All of this is, everything I do is open source, so you can use them to build on your own. And I wish you guys the best. In case you need another session, happy to share, happy to review, But what I would suggest is put in the work, do the research, prepare yourself for the presentation, and practice. And you'll come out awesome.
so there's one last question. I don't know, last minute question.
Happy to take it.
All right.
Happy to take it.
Someone is saying their topic seems to be rather new, so they have no research materials. What can he do in that scenario?
There's no topic without research. That's why I said your experience, your exposure on that very new topic. That is sufficient research material.
All right. Thank you.
Like share, and you can use it by asking questions. So you can change your talk rather than talking to the audience. You can have them ask. You can use it as a research. You can ask the audience questions and have somebody take notes. Like it doesn't always have to be you sharing, but you can be able to guide the discussion in the audience among a topic which you feel is very new, or one where you'd hope they have ideas.
Yes. So, yeah, thank you for answering that. That was the last minute question. So we're supposed to end at 8 sharp. So thank you so much for also keeping time, despite the hiccups we had at the beginning. But this session, everyone else is saying thank you so much for the session. They have learned a lot. Dorothy says thank you for the tips. People are still saying they really loved your keynote. I don't know if you'll do another keynote.
I praised the PyCon team, and I think many were disappointed. Part of my keynote, I said, work yourself out of the job. That's why we're even doing these speaker sessions. It would be great if I don't have to keynote, because there are 5 or so people every year who are dying to keynote, and it's better if we are 30 keynote speakers in a PyCon, because that means the quality keeps getting better and better. And really, for me, I'm here to help coach you so that you get better and replace me. That's what I really want. Yeah. Not hopefully. It's not whether. It's when. So please do replace me starting this PyCon. That's why you will not. This PyCon I'll be an attendee. I will not be a keynote speaker. I don't even have a talk that's accepted. That's why I'm helping others prepare their talks.
All right. Thank you so
So
much.
on
So
purpose.
yes,
Yes,
I hope you guys have taken these tips seriously. I'm preparing my talk.
exactly.
You can
And
also
hey, why stop at PyCon Uganda, right? Take your talk, make it at PyCon Uganda, and make it a target that you get a talk accepted at PyCon US. Why think small, right? Start PyCon Uganda, PyCon KE, PyCon South Africa, PyCon Europe, PyCon US. Like, why shouldn't a Ugandan, why shouldn't one of you keynote at PyCon US? Like that, for me, that would be a goal.
yes.
A Ugandan keynoting at PyCon US or PyCon Europe. Now that, I mean, that's not, let's get that good. Let's use this PyCon as a way of practicing and delivering high quality talks and high quality value.
Yes. Right. Thank you so much. And yeah, we enjoyed the session. So now the task is up to us to practice and then make sure that we are really so good at this. And I
Yes.
can't wait for the next lightning talk. At least I'll sign up for that. So Monica says she'll be so glad to replace you. She's ready.
Start by giving a talk, then a keynote, and so on. But don't forget, practice so that you do not. What happened to us, losing 15 minutes at the beginning of this course, not happen to you. I'm an example. You did not practice enough, so do not be like me. Do as I say, do not do as I do. I did not practice enough, so do not be like Stephen.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much for this session. It's exactly 8 o'clock. And thank you guys for joining us. If you have any questions, feel free to always write. And Mr. Steven is always online on Twitter. So his handle is at SS Musoke. I'll type it in the chat. Follow him and just keep in touch with him. So for now, goodbye. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Thank you very much. Thank you for the opportunity, PyCon. Without you, I wouldn't be here. So thank you for the trust you've placed in me.
Thank you. We shall always call you
I'm
again if
honored.
you're busy.
I am honored.
Yes.
All right.
Right. Bye bye.
Bye.